Just gotta wait a second. Yeah, so a lot of comments are going to be showing up here. Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome again to Dave's creation. And I talked about my my robots the last time. I talked about my robots, right? I talked about Sanders, my robot that I had showed you. But what I want to do is I want to get a dog robot now, and actually test that out because you know I think it's pretty cool. Okay, if you have a a dog robot, okay, I mean it's probably kind of uh, uh, silly, but hey, um, it's basically like having a dog, but all ordinary that you have um, a robot dog. You know, just say for instance, some landlords don't want animals, right? So if because it's some landlords don't don't want you know don't want animals, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get a robot dog. Okay, hey, just look. Okay, one, you don't have to feed it. Two, you don't have to go buy dog food. Three, you don't have to go take it outside, right? To the bathroom, right? So there you go. I mean, hey, um, robot dogs, they're awesome. I just actually want to get one. So I want to test it out, just like I've been testing senders out. Okay, so I'm a robot person, and I like to test out robots, and I like and basically I like to actually build them too. So build them out of cardboard boxes, I've been actually showing you how. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. I mean, this is like great. You know what I'm saying? Having a robot dog, and you're having a robot Sanders, which is pretty. He's actually a pretty good, pretty cool robot. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to actually, stand them up over here a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, I usually try to stand them up, but kind of like really. Let me see. Yeah, wow, that's little Sanders. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, yeah, he's actually a pretty good robot. Well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? So, he's gonna explore the robots of Sydney. He's pretty cool. Um, and he's just a robot. You know what I'm saying? And and again, you know what I'm saying. And I talked about this before. Okay, I get it. Okay, but hey, it's basically the world that we are living in today. Today's society. We have cameras all over the street. We have uh, you know cameras in stores. We have cameras in our house. We have cameras on our house. We have cameras everywhere. So let's put it this way, okay? There's no expectations of privacy anymore, people. I mean, you guys. I mean, you guys get upset because you guys see cameras, and let me tell you something. I the biggest question, okay, out of them all. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of cameras? Okay, so that's the biggest question that I always like to ask people. Why are you afraid of cameras? Okay, why? Okay, you know, let me tell you something. Okay, about cameras. Okay, um, I'd rather be afraid. I'd rather have cameras around. Okay, I'd rather have cameras around. Okay, yeah, I mean, of course, everybody's being watched. Okay, hey, we're all being watched in the store. We're all being watched outside. We're being watched in the street. Even when we're riding down the street, even when we're in the cars, we're being watched. Okay, cars run red lights. People talk on their phones, and and people get caught. And guess what? When people get caught, they get a ticket in the mail. You know what I'm saying? So it's you're being watched. You're basically being watched no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter what what the outcome is, you're being watched. Okay. Every street, every side street, where if it's up and down, where if it's Rodman Street, we got cameras all over the place. So basically, you're being watched. So I mean, my point that I'm trying to get at, you shouldn't be afraid of a camera. If you see somebody standing out there with a camera going like this, um, if you see somebody out there with a camera going like this, okay, wave, say hello. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be afraid of a camera. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, okay, if do you believe in do you believe in the Constitution? If you believe in the Constitution, hey, if you see somebody out there with a camera, an auditor out there with a camera, believe me, they're protecting your constitutional rights. Okay, they are, and and even the police department too. Okay, they're protecting their constitutional rights too. Okay, but we also have to have, okay, we are us auditors, okay, have to hold police officers accountable for their actions. We have to hold politicians accountable for their actions, okay, you know and we have to keep everybody honest, because if we don't keep people honest, there is gonna be a lot of corruption going on. Okay, if we got to keep them honest, so the more auditors we have out there, okay, the better. Okay, because you want to know why? And let's put it this way. Okay, I'm one of them, or I'm one of them audits. Okay, I do it so that way. Okay, they keep people honest. We want to keep politicians honest. We want to keep everyone honest. Okay. Know why? Because there's a lot of corruption in the world. Okay. You know, there's a lot of misuse of funds in politics. Same thing, basically, with Governor Moore Healy. Her too. You know what I'm saying? Mayor Paul Coogan, him too. I mean, I'm not talking about just state and local politics. I'm also talking about federal politics. So the federal politics. Okay. I'm also talking. There's a lot of misuse of funds going on. Okay. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking. I'm also talking about the Democrats. Okay. Talking about the Democrats. Okay. That's why. Okay. And I'm not saying even some of the Republicans too. Same thing. Okay. But it works both ways. Okay, this side or that side. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but you gotta understand this. Okay, um, we get things done. Okay, so that's why we have to hold everyone accountable. Okay, so that's why. That's why sometimes if you see me around outside with the camera, don't be afraid of the camera. Hey, y'all feel free to ask. Come up. Hey, what is this? You know what I'm saying? And and if you come up to me, called you, I will tell you. Okay, I will tell you what I'm doing. Okay, but if you come up to me and oh, stop recording me, I'm gonna ignore you. Okay, because um, the First Amendment is that I can record outside where I can see everything. Okay, so I mean, but like I tell people straight up, hey, look it, hey, you want privacy, then you stay home in your own house. Okay, if you want privacy, or stay in your car, or you know what I'm saying, if you want privacy. Today's age is no expectations of privacy at all, because everywhere you go, you're being recorded, you're being watched. Okay, cameras are watching. Okay, and and the reason why I say this is because it's true. Cameras are watching. I mean, hey, even when I'm recording, they're pointing at they're out there. Even those cameras with the balls, they do sometimes a 360, sometimes those cameras. And those are the good cameras. Those are the high-tech cameras that the stores have. Okay. Even on the outside of out the outside skirt of the stores, they're like those cameras do a 360. Well, and like that. So I mean, people today have drones, okay, that fly in the air. I remember working for Market Basket. I was like, and I was and I was just trying to, see what side I want to go. When I used to work for Market Basket, I wanted to go see what side I had to go and what side had the most carriages. And my boss was like, he goes, yeah, whatever. I mean, people are outside with drones. You know what I'm saying? You know, people are, taking photographs of themselves out there. You have the right. You have the right to take. You have the right yourself to go stand around and hold people accountable for their actions. Okay, you have that right. That is your right. Okay, to do so. The First Amendment. The First Amendment. Freedom of expression, right? Freedom of religion, freedom of the press. Okay, you have that right to go and hold people accountable. Okay, okay, you have that right to hold politicians accountable for their actions. You have that right. That is your right. And then it falls on and the Second Amendment. Okay, the Second Amendment. Okay, um, yeah, you also have the right to actually conceal too. So you have that right. Okay, you have that right under the First Amendment. Okay, well, not the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. The First Amendment is for um, uh, freedom, freedom of uh, freedom of speech, uh, and and religion. Okay, and freedom of the press too. Okay, the freedom of the press falls under the First Amendment. Okay, if you want to look it up, if it's wrong, if I said this wrong, then I advise you to look it up. Okay, yourself and correct it. So, but anyways, I am I'm gonna get a robot dog, and I'm gonna get a robot dog, and yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a robot dog. Why not? Hey, you know something? If he's a robot dog, I don't have to, hose him down when he's hot. Uh, I don't have to bother picking ticks, off his fur. I don't have to take him outside. Okay, I don't have to feed him. And yeah, so I mean, hey, it's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? So testing out robot, yeah, testing them out, and that's what I'm doing, testing them out. When you're testing out robots, okay, and you're testing, yeah, and even dog robots. Hey, look, man, you know, um, we live in a world today of cameras, and we live in a world today of robots. And I get it. People tell me every single day, Dave, why do you want to build robots? Why do you want to, create robots? Hey, I don't care what China is doing. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't. Okay. China, I don't care what they're doing. Okay. People say that China is making robot army and everything else and stuff. Robots are only communicated, okay, if you put the wrong operating system in it. Okay. So I don't see why I don't understand why, you know, people are so nervous about robots. Okay. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would understand. You know what I'm saying? You know, robots, that's only people are just thinking about theory. Okay. Wait, theory. Okay. I mean, unless you see a robot, you know what I'm saying? Walk on the street or something. That would be a funny joke. You know what I'm saying? Seeing a robot walk on the street, that'd be a funny joke. Why not? Hell, man, that'd be funny. But you know, people use robots for evil, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I strongly believe that when you use robots, okay, people use them for evil, and I get it. Okay, and people shouldn't even use robots for evil. People should use you if you're going to create a robot, put the right operating systems in it, and make it hey, and train it to help people walk across the street. Train it to help people carry their bags. You know what I'm saying, to their cars. Okay, helping people with it. Okay, do positive things with it. Okay, don't do evil things with it. Do positive with it, because something. Um, but just don't pay attention to what people are saying to you, or what China is doing and stuff like that. People are just so ridiculous these days. Okay, people are so caught up in their own world. Okay, that China's going to do this, China's going to do that. China ain't going to do anything. Okay, the only thing China's going to do, okay, is sit there and just and keep this close. That's about all they're going to do. Okay, China is not going to do nothing. Okay, that's my that's just me. China's not going to do anything. Okay, make army robots. China's not going to make army robots. Okay, China's not going to, because you don't want to know why? Because we trade. We do trading in China. We do a lot of trading. We buy a lot of China stuff. Okay, so wherever you guys are hearing about, try to hear some positive things. Okay, instead of negative. Okay, try to hear some positive things for a change. Okay, you know, um, you know, and have a good time, man. Have a good time for the stuff that you got now. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time at your work, making money and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Think about this, okay? When somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, China's this, and going to do it," say, "Hey, look," say, "You know something? Hey, right now, I don't want to hear about it. until I see it. Okay, that's what you say. Okay, don't don't give in to them, and and let people just go like that to you. You know what I'm saying? Let people talk negative. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people do out there. Okay, in the world. Okay, even when you're out there on the bus, or when you're out there walking in the street, or when you're standing at a bus stop, or if you're at the bus terminal, put earphones on. If you don't want to hear negative stuff, put earphones on. Don't feed into the negative stuff, because if you feed into the negative stuff, guess what happens? Then then you're gonna be just as bad as the person that that you're talking to, because you want to know why? Because you feed in to all these negative things that people say about, when they talk about robots, when they talk about when they start going like this, but what I'm saying. So I mean, people just like to talk. You know what I'm saying? That's how people are. So there's a lot of gossipers out there, okay, in the world, and we all know that, okay. A lot of gossipers out there, okay. You know, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Well, and that's how people are. People are ignorant, okay? Ignorant and negative, okay? You know, they have, some people just don't have nothing better to do with their life, okay? Than go like this. Da, 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 okay? That, you know what I call them kind of people? They're motorboats, okay? It's like a car engine keeps going until it runs out of oil, or until it runs out of gas, or until it needs oil. Okay, that's how people are. Okay, it's like a broken down car. Okay, that needs an engine. Okay, so that's how that goes. Okay, some people just don't understand. Okay, you know, but but who are me to judge? I don't judge anybody. Okay, but you know, but those are the kind of people, those are the kind of people you need to ignore. Okay, ignore them. You know what I'm saying? You need to ignore the ones that always like to back and forth. They got the let's put it this way. Okay, all right. Let me phrase it the other way. Some people don't have anything to do with their lives. Okay, they don't. And you know something? When you don't have anything to do with your life, and you're bored, of course, man, you're gonna be into the gossipers. Okay, of course, yeah, you're gonna be and the other one's gonna be back and forth. It's gonna be back and forth. Okay, and that's how people are. Okay, people just gossipers out there. Okay, in the world, and of course, man. And you have to, you get, when you see that, you walk away and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to deal with the drama. The hell with the drama. Okay, nothing but drama, and that's it. Okay, that's how people are. Okay, so right, so that's why when I talk about robots, you know, people get nervous. Okay, but you know something though? Hey, a robot could be your best friend. Okay, if you let it. Okay, it could be your best friend. Only if you build a robot. Okay, if you build one, and you put you put the right operating system in it, then you don't have any problems. But if you're going to test it with the wrong operating system, okay, of course the robot's gonna uh, you know um, act weird. Okay, of course the robot's gonna act weird. You know what I'm saying, but if you don't, okay, and if keep the same operating system in there, okay, then it's gonna do good things. Okay, so I mean, It all depends how you use it, okay? How you proceed it, okay? And how you and if you ever decide to get a robot and put and build one and put an operating system in it, okay? Make sure you put a good operating system in. If you decide to put a bad operating system in it, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get negative. Okay. So, but if you put a good operating system in it, then you're going to get positive. Okay. So, you know, but it's the same thing with it. It's the same thing with a camera. People are scared of cameras. So, why are you scared of cameras? Okay. It don't make sense. Okay. People call the police on somebody. Oh, this guy here is recording me. Oh, he's doing a lot of recording in me and everything else. So I don't want to be on recorded. So now the Karen will call the police and waste resources and have the police come down, okay? And have the police come down, and then then the auditor would talk to the police officer and say, you know, even if the police officer is already educated on what's going on, okay? Now, the person that called is going to be educated, okay? Because we want transparency, okay? So, I mean, so you're going to be educated one way or the other, okay? So, whether you keep going around, like this, uh, so I mean, but I just wanted to come on and have a little discussion, about a few things, and this is probably maybe the longest video I had. So again, me and my son, we made an app. Okay, it's Fall River Media News app. Okay, and it's downloaded already to Android. Okay, but I still have to build it up a little bit. Just letting you know, still have to build it up a little bit. Trying to figure out how how can we get the put the notification in, so that way so how we can get notification, and then at the end I'll let you know, when it's launched over to the App Store. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'll let you know that it's probably going to be a while yet, because I really want to build it up a little bit, to make it, test it. You know what I'm saying? Well, my son will test it to make sure things are, going good, and then he'll let me know, when it's a good time to launch it into the App Store. You know what I'm saying? So, but even when I launch it into the App Store, um, I'm gonna charge a fee for it. If you want to download it and stuff like that. So that will be way towards the end. You know what I'm saying? I officially own the app. You know what I'm saying? So I own the app, so I officially own it. So, but it's not built up yet, like I really want it with the and see how the dialogues put dialogues in it, notification. See how we can put the actually notification in there. So, and then I'll let you know when it's. Then he'll let me know. I'll let you know when it's going to be officially launched at the App Store. So I okay. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for listening, and again, I'm going to be getting a robot dog. We're going to be testing the waters with that, and probably start creating a whole new world where that people will see that so that way people can see the goodness in robots. And so people right now are seeing the badness in robots. I want people to see the actual good, the goodness in robots. Okay. So Um, but so I just want to let you know that if you see me outside with the camera, hey, you're welcome to come up to me and ask me questions. You're welcome to ask me why am I filming, and but if you come up to me in a nice way and say, in a cordial way, and say, "Excuse me, sir, why are you recording out here in public, out here?" And I can actually tell you why. You know what I'm saying? And I can. You know what I'm saying? So, but I can, and I can, but I mean, if you ask nicely, then yeah, I could basically tell you. And but we also hold police officers accountable too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know there's a lot of bad police officers in the force. I'm not saying that they're all, but there's a lot of corruption around everywhere. Even in the court systems and stuff like that, there's a lot of corruption around. Okay, and even public officials. I mean, if you're a public servant, you're going to be held accountable, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold you accountable, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? No questions. Okay, because there's been a lot of police officers stop and frisk, and there's been a lot of stop and frisk, and oh, I seen you. Oh, where were you? But let me also tell you about this. Okay, let me tell you about this. If a police officer pulls you over, asks you for your ID, tell them, say, you're not getting my ID. Okay, okay, unless he's suspicious. He'd be found suspicious of a crime. Okay, so I mean, if not, then you don't have to show him. Then you don't have to pull your ID out and show him. You can basically tell him, say, "Hey, look, you can take a walk," and you can actually basically walk away from it. Okay, because some cops, what they do is they want to. Sometimes they'll stop and frisk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how it goes. And a lot of police officers do that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll get a corrupt partner. And say you're the good cop, and you have a partner that he's so corrupt, and then he's like, okay, well, then you say, hey, look, you know what? Whatever you're doing, I'm not going to get in the middle of this. You know what I'm saying? But he's your partner. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is why police officers now carry body cams because of the corruption and the things that police officers do, what they do. You know what I'm saying? And the things that they shouldn't be doing. Okay. Sometimes they'll pull over a car and give a ticket. Sometimes they'll just pull over a car, or they see a beautiful woman or something and they stop and talk to them, other than their wives. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. Cops could be, yeah, and there's a lot of rude cops. Okay, there's a lot of cops. There's a lot of cops that will violate your First and Second Amendment right. Okay, there's cops that don't even believe in the Constitution. Okay, there's a lot of them that will violate your rights. Okay, they will. Okay, but there is a lot of them that won't violate your rights. Okay, so and that's why you got to look up the laws, look up what the circuit court and everything else and stuff, the circuit court and everything. So, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna look up a few things from the Supreme Court. Okay, and I'm gonna read it out. Watch this. What did the Supreme Court say about stop and frisk? The U.S. Supreme Court is addressed to stop and frisk in the landmark case of Terry versus Ohio. Okay, so it's Terry versus Ohio. Okay, the court held that of a police officer may briefly stop a person if the officer has reasonable suspicions based on specific accountability fact that the person is involved in a criminal activity if the officers also has reasonable suspicions that the person is armed and dangerous, that the officer may conduct a limited pat down, frisk, or of the person other than their clothing to check for weapons. This is a law, lower standard that probably the cause which is a required from an arrest of a full search. The courts did not rule that the police can stop and frisk anymore at will. Officers must be able to explain the specific facts of creation of responsible suspicion of more hunch is not enough. The pose of the risk officer's safety is not to search for evidence of a crime if during a lawful pat down the officer immediately recognizes a object as a legal contraband through the torch thought later Supreme Court case has allowed it sees under the what called the plain field doctrine. If you are asking specific about Massachusetts, you can also explain how Massachusetts courts and the state constitution sometimes provide greater protection than the federal and minimum. Well, you know what? I'm going to actually ask that. So, what did the Massachusetts Supreme Court say about stop and frisk and okay, the High Court in Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court by the SJCL followed the U.S. Supreme Court decision in Terry versus Ohio, but in some situations, it has interpreted the Massachusetts Constitution to provide greater protection. In a general, and the SJC has said police must have reasonable suspicions based on suspected accountability fact that the person has committing or is about to commit a crime before making an investigation stop to conduct a frisk and pat down. Same thing. Police must have a separated responsibility suspicious that the person is armed and dangerous and a lawful stop by itself. Um, it don't automatically justify a frisk. A frisk is a limited check for weapons, and officers' safety is not a general search for evidence. Massachusetts courts have also emphasized that a person refuses to answer questions is simply walking away from police when they are free to do so. It does not it doesn't itself justify a stop and frisk. Being in a high crime area by itself is not enough to justify the stop and frisk. If you are referring to particularly a Massachusetts case, let me know the case name of the is issued and thinking of what I can explain that the decision is more detailed. Wow, you see that? I mean, there's a lot of things going on. so what did the Supreme Court say in Massachusetts, the High Court, about a police officer pulling someone over in a car? This is a good one. The Massachusetts Supreme judicial court has said that a traffic stop is a seizure under both of the Fourth Amendment and Article 14 of Massachusetts Declaration of Rights. So police officers can't pull over they can't pull over a vehicle without lawful reason. So they cannot pull you over they cannot. Article 14 of Massachusetts Declaration of Rights. So police officers cannot pull over a vehicle without a lawful reason. And a general of the SJC has held that of a police officer may stop a vehicle if the officer has reasonable suspicions that the driver has violated a traffic law or is involved in a criminal activity. If the officer exactly observing a traffic violation such as speeding, running a stop sign, or a broken tail light, that is generally enough to justify the stop. One of these vehicles is stopped. The officer cannot unnecessarily prolong the stop to investigate unrelated matters unless a new factor is created responsible suspicion of the criminal activity. For more than recently in 2026, the SJCL ruled that although police may stop a vehicle for a traffic violation, they cannot wait an unreasonable amount of time and then use the old violation as the basic for a later stop. The court said that the delay must be reasonable under all of the circumstances and old traffic infraction cannot hang over a driver indefinitely to justify it later. Stop. If you are asking because of a particular traffic stop, it's encounter, I can't explain how these rules might apply to the situation. How great, huh? Wow. That's horrible. I think let me see. Let's see here. I think I have some stuff going on here. Let's see. Uh oh yeah. Hold on here. Oh, the Fourth Amendment protection of from unreasonable search and seizure is included excessive force and unlawful arrest. The Fourth Amendment, Section 1, guaranteed due to process, inquire, protection under the law, and applies the constitutional protection to state and local government. 42 U.S.C. 1983, often called Section 1983, federal civil rights law passed by Congress, it allowed people to sue the state and local officials, included police officers, when they violate the constitutional right while acting under the color of state law. That is ridiculous. Yeah, they act like under the color of state law. They cannot do that. Police officers cannot act on the color of law. They can't. Okay, police officers cannot discriminate. It's against the law. Police officers, once they start discriminating like that and they start doing anything under the color of law, they can be sued, okay, under this Bill of Rights, okay, 42 USC 1983, often called Section 1983. This is a federal civil right law passed by Congress and allows people to sue the state and local officials when they start using things under the color of law. Okay, so I mean I've learned a lot. You know what I'm saying in the past a few years. You know what I'm saying so. Um, and this one here, you see this one. Congress is allowed people to sue the state and local officials, including police officers. They violate the constitutional rights while acting under the color of the state law. If you are asking about the Supreme Court decision that said that police officers can be held accountable, there isn't one single case that Bradley State uh, Bradley states that instead that the court has ensure many decisions inter interpreting sections 1983 and the constitutional rights. It has also recognized that the doctrine of qualifying immunity in many cases, which can limit it when officers can be held personally liable for civil lawsuits and stuff. Of course, yeah, big time, man. Sometimes police officers caught. People think that they can get away with, breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can't get away with breaking the law. Okay, so I mean, it's something that you know, yeah. So it's something that would you know that people need to know. You know what I'm saying? And you also have the right when you get pulled over by a police officer and they ask you for your ID, you say, uh, am I being detained or am I being or do you find any suspicions of a crime? And if they try to railroad you on that, and you tell them to escalate the the uh, you tell them to say it, articulate. That's what it is. Tell them to articulate. You know, because sometimes cops cannot articulate. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I mean, that's just how things are. You know what I'm saying? So, and and cops will, and then when you're standing outside with the camera, people will, you get you'll get Karens out there. Of course you would. I mean, you get a lot of Karens out there. So that's why if you're standing out there, I suggest you to carry mace on you. Carry the good one though. I mean, the pepper spray. I mean, the good one. If you're gonna stand outside, you know what I'm saying. So, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we have to hold public officials accountable for these things. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's because sometimes it's unlawful. You know what I'm saying? You know, and cops make quick decisions. Yeah, I get sometimes they make quick decisions, but sometimes they make the wrong decisions. Okay, they don't make sometimes they don't make the right decisions. Okay, and that's why that's why we have to have that's why we have to have these police officers to get trained. You know what I'm saying? They have to go to training a training class. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes cops will, you know what I'm saying? They if they're in a bad mood, yeah, I'm gonna go pull this guy over here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go and arrest this guy over here. Why? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you're in a bad mood? How? Now, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes cops will make up charges against somebody. Sometimes police officers will sometimes police officers will plant things. I mean, I've never saw it, but some for what people had experienced on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes cops will plant things in your car. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just to get you on a charge. You know what I'm saying? That's how police officers are. That's why when you every time you get pulled over, that's why you have to. That's why you have the right to go live and live with the police officer and record him and and ask him every question in the book. You know what I'm saying? So why did you pull me over? Why? How come you need my name and my address? Or you need my registration and stuff like that. And so, or you can say, hey, look, you know what? I didn't speed. I didn't go through a red light. Look at the camera. Okay. You know, and things like that. Sometimes you gotta really keep your eyes open on things like that because cops can boom give you this. Okay. But we're you know, and that's why I do my research all the time. Okay, because trusting cops, no. Okay, maybe some, but not all. You know what I'm saying? I had an uncle, okay, that was a police commissioner. What a hell of a nice guy he was. Okay. He was a police commissioner. He treated all his guys good. You know what I'm saying? So and then I had an uncle too. An uncle by marriage. He was also a good police officer too. He did good policing too. You know what I'm saying? Sit, talk with people. Between him and my uncle, okay, they knew a thing about transparency. They knew a thing about, sitting and talking to people, and rather than going up to them and violating their constitutional rights. You know what I'm saying? So that too. So, but hey, I have to get going now. It's already 8:06. But I really want to show you. It's thundering outside right now. You know, um, I really want to show you something here right now. This is like pretty good. Okay, this is the robot head. Okay, right here. I'm trying to. So that's the robot head right there. So I'm gonna be. Let me go to my Facebook page for that. So that's the robot head right there. That's a pretty good. Oh, come on, man. Dude. Let me see. Oh, there it is, right there. So he's a great robot. Okay, he's awesome. I'm going to be drawing a picture of his head, and then I'm going to be drawing a picture of his ears, stuff like that. Then later I can actually talk about it and everything else too. So, but hey, all right. So guys can listen to my replay. Listen to my. You guys can listen to my replay and stuff, and that's it. But so so take care, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great night, and it's already like 8 o'clock. So and I'm gonna play a little bit of my little robot right here. So and that way you guys could have fun with it. You know what I'm saying too as well. Hello, I'm an intelligent robot. Come explore the world of robots with me. Well, and I'm going to try to activating reconnaissance mode. Scanning environment. Preparing for battle. Okay.
Please begin your message after the beep.
Hey, Sanders. How you doing, sir? How are you?
Hey Sanders, how you doing, sir? How are you?
I am
Please
a
begin your
robot.
message after the beep.
I am a robot, and I like to play cards.
I am a robot and I like to play cards.
Please begin your message after the beep.
I am a robot, and I like to go for walks with my robot dog.
I am a robot and I like to go for walks with my robot
So, guys can listen to my videos. You can guys can go and you guys can listen to the video if you want. But again, um, the the app is we made me and my son we made the app.
Why aren't
Uh,
you talking with me?
oh,
I'm so bored.
yeah, he's so bored now. So I had to shut him off. So um, we made the app. Okay, it's downloaded to um, the Android tablet, the Android phone, but it's still not done yet. Okay, we still have to you know prepare it. We got to build it, and we got to figure out how to get in there with notifications. So it's going to be a while before it hits the. It's going to be a while before it hits the App Store. And we will let you know, when that happens. So take care, everybody. Have a great night. This is Dave Creations on robots and and robots and robots. So take care, everybody. Have a great night.